Is There Anyone Out There? Written by Nick Bishop. Illustrated by Nick Bishop and John Hughes. Is there life in space? Have you ever looked up at the sky on a dark night and wondered if somewhere in the universe there's a planet like Earth with life on it? There are billions of stars, and many could have planets near them. Could any of these planets have life on them? What's the difference between a planet and a star? Stars make light and heat. Planets are smaller than stars and go around them. The planet we live on is Earth. The star that the Earth goes around is the Sun. What sort of planet is best for life? First of all, we need to know what sort of planet is most likely to have life. What sort of planet should we look for? Let's take a look at Earth. We know that Earth is a good place for life. If we find other planets like Earth, there's a chance they'll have life too. Life file. Earth. Earth has water. All living things need liquid water. Our bodies are made mostly of water. Earth has air. Life on Earth needs air to survive. Earth is the right temperature. It isn't too hot and it isn't too cold. Life on Earth does best between 5 degrees centigrade to 40 degrees centigrade. Is there life in the solar system? All the planets in our solar system go around a star called the Sun. Earth is good for life because it's just the right distance from the Sun. If Earth were much closer to the Sun, it would be too hot, and the water on Earth would boil away. If it were much further from the Sun, it would be too cold, and the water on Earth would freeze solid. Let's see if any other planets in the solar system could support life. Venus and Mars are worth looking at because they are closest to us. Are they like Earth? Life file. Venus. Venus is closer to the Sun than the Earth. The air is impossible for humans to breathe, but it would be fine for some kinds of life. The surface is a burning hot 500 degrees centigrade, and there's no liquid water. The first spacecraft from Earth to land here only survived 28 minutes. Venus is far too hot and dry for life. The surface of Venus looks flat because it's covered with clouds. The photograph on the right was taken below the clouds. Is there life on Mars? Scientists think that Mars was warm and wet enough for life a long time ago. Photos of the surface show what look like old, dry rivers. Some people think that simple life may still survive there. Was this once a river of water? Life file. Mars. Mars is further from the Sun than the Earth is. The air is impossible for humans to breathe, but it would be fine for some kinds of life. The surface is a freezing minus 60 degrees centigrade, and there's some frozen water. Spacecraft have found no signs of life so far. Scientists think that the other planets in the solar system are too cold or too hot for life to survive. But there's one other place where there could be life. That is on one of Jupiter's moons, called Europa. Life file, Europa. Europa is a long way from the Sun. There's almost no air of any kind. The surface is too cold for life. It's a freezing minus 170 degrees centigrade and is covered with ice kilometres thick. The coldest place on Earth is minus 89 degrees centigrade. Europa might be much warmer below the ice. There could be an ocean under the ice where life is possible. A spacecraft might drill through the ice one day to see what's underneath. Is there life in the rest of the universe? Could there be other stars like our Sun, with planets? Could some of these planets have life, like Earth? The only way to find out is to search for planets like Earth. But that's very hard to do. The stars are a long way away, and planets are much smaller than stars. Even our most powerful telescopes can't see a planet the size of Earth so far away. So far, scientists have only found some very big planets called gas giants. These planets are mostly gas, with no solid ground, except perhaps in the very middle. They are very different to Earth, and scientists think that they aren't good for life. The planet Jupiter in our solar system is a gas giant. Gas giant planets are huge. Over 1,000 Earths could fit inside one of them. The Planet Hunters. So, how can we search the stars for planets like Earth? One way is by sending telescopes into space. These telescopes can help us to find out if a planet has water and air and whether it's hot or cold. A telescope in space will search the stars for planets like Earth. If we find other planets like Earth, how will we know for sure if they have life? At the moment, we can't send a space rocket to look outside the solar system. The stars are just too far away. Our fastest rockets would take about 80,000 years to get to the closest star. Listening for life. Maybe we don't need to visit the stars to find out if there's life out there. Perhaps life forms on another planet will send us a message by using radio waves. We use radio waves to talk to each other all the time on Earth. Our mobile phones, radios, and televisions all use radio waves. The world's largest radio dish is in Puerto Rico. It can be seen at the bottom of the photo. It is 300 meters wide. Radio waves can travel through space. We use them to talk to the spacecraft we send to planets in the solar system, like Mars and Jupiter. Radio waves travel fast, but they would take years to reach us from outside the solar system. Life forms on another planet could send a message to Earth using radio waves. What might alien life look like? If we could travel to the stars, what might alien life look like? We might only find simple things like gooey mats of slime. We might find living things that are like us in some ways. They would have a brain. They might have eyes and ears, and perhaps feelers. They might have legs for movement and mouths to eat things. An alien from a water-covered planet might look like this. In other ways, alien life could be very different from living things we know. Their bodies could be different shapes and sizes to cope with the kind of planet they live on. On the next pages, we show an artist's idea of what life on 3 very different planets might look like. Not one of these planets is real, as far as we know, but somewhere there might be planets like them. Water world. This planet is covered in water. What might an alien living here look like? Turn to page 22. Low gravity world. This planet is small and has low gravity. Everything feels light and some of the air has floated away. What might an alien living here look like? Turn to page 24. High gravity world. This planet is big and has high gravity. Everything feels very heavy. The air is thick and windy. What might an alien living here look like? Turn to page 26. Water world. The aliens living here might have large mouths. These would be useful for catching prey and swallowing water to push themselves along. They will have streamlined shapes to move quickly, like fish. Low gravity world. The aliens here would be able to run and jump very easily. They would have long, thin legs because they don't need much strength to move about. They might need long, feathery arms to breathe through because there isn't much air. High gravity world. The aliens here can't run or jump very easily, and it hurts when they fall over. They have short, strong legs because it's hard to move about. They have a thick, hard skin for support and protection against the stormy weather. Some animals can glide or fly because the thick, windy air holds them up. Is there anyone out there? Scientists use radio telescopes to listen for signals from distant planets. What should they do if they get a message from another planet? Should they send a reply? Scientists haven't found life on other planets yet, but they haven't given up looking. They're planning to send more spacecraft to look for life on Mars and Europa. They're also making better radio telescopes to search the universe for signals from other life forms. The search has only just begun.